Welcome to the 2013 Unity Awards. I'm Susan Burns, and I'm the editor at Biz 941.
Buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Bienvenidos a la tercera edición de los Unity Awards. Don't worry, we are going to talk in English. I'm Luis Barón, the publisher of La Guía magazine, and this is the third year that Biz 941 and La Guía have searched our communities to find the extraordinary people and businesses that are doing the important work of connecting ethnic and racial groups to our wider community.
If you're here today, you already support the ideals of unity and inclusiveness, of inviting everyone under the tent because it meets this nation's core values of equality. You know, it's a moral and historical imperative for all of us, I think. But you know, there are some very practical reasons to take a look at diversity and embrace that today. In the year 2043, the whites will no longer be the majority and dominant, at least in terms of our sheer numbers. And America is going through another great transformation. And the people who accept this, recognize it, and embrace this huge cultural shift will be the people who make our communities, our schools, our businesses, and our nation stronger.
Our Unity Award winners today are these people, and we are proud to have them living in and working here. They are building a better community because they understand that we are not whites, blacks, yellow, or brown. We are red, white, and blue. We are Americans. And we are working together together in order to build a better country. We are going to briefly introduce each of our winners and ask them to come up to stage and receive their plaque and say a few words.
Our business winner, Champs Sports. 10 years ago, a few employees at Champs Sports who played basketball at the dilapidated 13th Avenue Community Center saw the tattered uniforms of the kids who played there. And that one small observation launched what has now become a huge and successful fundraising campaign that brings in sports celebrities and has resulted in the construction of a brand new center that serves hundreds of low-income youngsters and families. To date, the employees at Champs, with the support of their company, have raised more than $700,000 for this center. Here to accept the award for Champs is Rebecca Kreitzik, Vice President of Human Resources. Please help me in honoring the employees of Champs.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Champs Sports, and I might add our unique sneaker culture, and members of the Celebrity Sports Night Committee who are here with me today over at Table 8, and also the president of United Community Centers, otherwise known as the Dream Center, Patrick Carnegie. It's truly an honor and inspiration to be in the company of all the individuals being honored here today. Whether it's supporting the 13th Avenue Dream Center, Project Heart, or serving dinner to the homeless at the Salvation Army, to name a few, our associates at Champs Sports and Team Edition Apparel embrace the ideals put forth by Chief Seattle, who said, "Mankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves." Strengthening the web of our community in a way that contributes to its richness and diversity is why we have committed our resources and support to the 13th Avenue Dream Center. The Dream Center is a place of enrichment, an opportunity for all children from diverse backgrounds to learn and grow, to see the possibilities of life from the wonderful staff and volunteers who mentor and coach and teach at the center. It is to them that we dedicate this recognition, Patrick. Thank you for this wonderful affirmation, and especially I thank my colleagues here today who pour their passion and energies into helping to make our community a more caring and inclusive one in which to live and work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our education winner today is Sonia Botero. Colombian born Sonia Botero is our winner in the education category. Spanish language teacher at Sarasota School of Arts and Science. She does far more than teach language. She's really about building bridges between cultures. She has started so many extracurricular activities, like the Multicultural Dance Troupe that performs all around the region, international festivals, and educational and volunteer trips to Mexico. Because of that, Governor Rick Scott awarded her an Excellence in Education Award, one of the only 3 Hispanic teachers in the state that received that prestigious award. Please help me in honoring our Sonia Botero.
I want to begin with the verse from the Bible, Genesis 11:6. Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language. And this is what they began to do, and now nothing which they purpose to do will be impossible for them. I am much honored to accept this award on behalf of the children and parents from Sarasota School of Arts and Sciences I have the privilege to teach and serve. I want to thank God for guiding my path to this country, my daughters, family, and friends for their support and love. La Guía, Luis Eduardo Barón, Susan Burns, and Biz 941 for considering my name on behalf of SSAS. I love teaching and seeing my students grow in wisdom, knowledge, dreams, and desire to be better human beings every day. I want to pay tribute to their hardworking parents whose sacrifices make possible for them to go to school. They overcome many obstacles related to transportation, language, and sometimes acceptance from the community they live in, contribute to, and most importantly, love. I cannot conclude without mentioning Dr. Martin Luther King's most famous speech, I have a dream. His dream about unity, the importance of his prophetic vision that we should all have a dream we can believe in. Thank you so much.
Our entrepreneur winner, David Grain. David, the founder of private investment firm Grain Management in Sarasota, built his career in the telecommunications industry. 8 years ago, he very quietly established a program at Booker High School to prepare minority students for the SATs. That program has grown into not just funding prep classes, but also college trips, helping with college application fees, sending kids to summer enrichment programs here and abroad, and introducing students to successful minorities, as well as organizing classes in etiquette and personal money management. When I talked to David, he said he just wants these kids to reach further than they ever thought possible and to give them the skills to do that. Here are the remarkable results. To date, 200 minority students now call themselves Grain Scholars and have gone on to college. 50% of them have gone to colleges out of state, some of them at the most elite schools in the country and abroad. Please help me in honoring David Grain.
Thank you. You know, through the grace of God, I was blessed to be raised in a two-parent household. Never wanted for anything. Had terrific experiences growing up. But as anyone who has teenagers will understand, you know, you're not always grateful immediately for all those blessings that you have. So you take things for granted. And as you get a little bit older, you realize how fortunate you've been. When I started to get involved with Booker High School, I met teenagers who were appreciative of anything that was available to them. And it was really quite shocking to me, particularly as I have teenagers of my own. So it's very personal, and on some levels it's very selfish that I'm so embraced by this. My wife Lisa is very supportive, and it couldn't be done without the help of folks like Lem Andrews, the guidance counselor, college advisor for the school, and also great people like the principal at the school now, Dr. Rachel Shelley. And I've seen principals at Booker come and go, but she is among the best that I've ever seen, and really a terrific woman. So I want to thank Biz 941 and you, Susan, for this honor, and Laguia, really greatly appreciate it. Also want to thank my colleagues at Grain Management who are here supporting me in this event today, and very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Our nonprofit winner is Joe Mercado. Joe is the past chair of the Gulf Coast Latin Chamber of Commerce and has worked nonstop to build bridges between Hispanic businesses and the larger community. He is pushed to increase the visibility of the Hispanic-owned businesses and started the festival Taste of Latin America that brought thousands of people to downtown Sarasota last year during the Cinco de Mayo celebration. As the operation manager at Manatee's Community Coalition of Homelessness, he is passionate about helping people of all backgrounds find financial and health assistance so they can get back on their feet. And he's almost always encouraging businesses to find a way to give back to the community. Please help me in honoring Mr. Joe Mercado. Sorry.
Not as tall as David. Thank you. I'm honored to be here today. Share a quick story. It was a moment that has to do with the award. I actually, the day I got the magazine, I brought it home, casually put it on the counter. I have two kids. I have a 5-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. And I casually put it on the counter, and I went out to do what I normally do and relax. And I think I was at a peace, you know, a little while later, and all of a sudden I'm upstairs and I hear this screaming. And my 5-year-old son is screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy!" And I'm like, I throw everything up in the air. I get up and I run towards him. He's running up the stairs and he has the magazine in his hand. He goes, "Someone took your picture!" All right? And I was like, I thought something happened to your sister. I don't know what, you know, the house is on fire. I don't know. But look, I took that opportunity to sit down with my kids and explain to them what giving back was all about. And it gave me just a moment with my kids, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you. I would be remiss not to thank Laguia, Luis Eduardo, Susan Burns, and Biz 941. They do a wonderful job in the community. They do a great job with the Unity Awards. and in pushing the envelope of diversity in our community. And we're very grateful for that. Personal experience, I could tell you from personal experience that they do an outstanding job at selecting the award recipients, all right? Okay? I'm fortunate. There's an award that really not too many people talk about, and that's the Award of Gratitude. Whether it's the work I do with the Community Coalition on Homelessness, with the Latin Chamber, or the Latin Chamber Foundation, there's one common denominator, and that's the community. With the work with the Latin Chamber Foundation, the focus is children, education, and providing the necessary resources and tools to give these kids, the Hispanic children in our community, the necessary resources so they could go to school and they could be future leaders in our community. I do a lot of work with the Community Coalition on Homelessness. We're overwhelmed. We're averaging 8,500 client visits a month now. And the number seems to be growing. We're working with families, children, individuals that are physically homeless and at risk of becoming homeless. And while they all share a problem or an issue, I could tell you that they all have one thing in common, and that's that they don't deserve this. So today, I would like to take this opportunity while I stand in front of everybody and remind everybody to give back. Give back to your community. Your contributions make a difference. They really do have the power to lift poverty and help children and the families in our community, and to fill their lives with hope and promise for a better tomorrow. So whether it's your time, talents, or your treasures, please remember that giving back is super important. And giving back to the community, your compassion and generosity in this, and what you guys do is what make this community such a great place to live. I am humbled, I'm honored, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Joe is going to sign autographs at the end with his beautiful picture in the cover of the magazine, okay. As well as David.
Our medical winner, Dr. Washington Hill. If you've lived here for a while, you've heard of Dr. Washington Hill. He's an obstetrician who specializes in high-risk pregnancies, and he's been dedicated to at-risk mothers, especially poor and minority mothers. He was a physician leader at Saracen Memorial Hospital and was also instrumental on state boards, helping to develop new ways of treating high-risk pregnant women, which have changed and saved lives. When we chose Dr. Hill, we didn't know he was headed off to Rwanda this month. Actually, I think he just left a week or two ago to join his wife, who is a neonatal nurse, to continue his quest to improve the health of the poor by training medical personnel over there. Here to accept his award is Laura Gilkey.
Hi, everyone. Well, as Susan said, Dr. Hill is in Rwanda. He sends his regards and wants everyone to know all is well there. Just this week, they've seen postpartum hemorrhage and preeclampsia, HIV, pulmonary embolism, breast cancer, and one unpreventable maternal death. So this is not the retirement that most of us envision, but it's this kind of dedication that makes him such a worthy recipient of your award today, and I thank you so much for that, and you as well. Today is about recognizing individuals who promote diversity in the workplace. Well, Dr. Hill's workplace is that sacred space into which a baby is born, and that's the future of our community. And in order to promote diversity in that way, we first have to address the very real problem of racial disparity. In Sarasota and in the United States as a whole, Brown-skinned babies are twice as likely to die, and their mothers 4 times as likely to die as their white counterparts. For the 20 years that Dr. Hill practiced here in Sarasota, he worked tirelessly toward researching and reducing this disparity in many ways, including community outreach, educational events, and service with many organizations, including the Healthy Start Coalition, on whose board he and I served together. In 2008, the Healthy Start Coalition launched the Save My Life initiative in direct response to these disparities, particularly in our Newtown community. Dr. Martin Luther King, we heard so many quotes from yesterday, said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." Well, fortunately for us, Dr. Hill is not known for his silence. He is constantly our vocal champion, educating his colleagues and the public about how important it is to invest in the future of all of our mothers and babies. And his efforts were not made in vain. Just before his retirement, we know we have a long way to go, but we did learn that in 2011, Sarasota was one of only 3 counties in the state that reported a lower than expected infant mortality rate. So I think that's very good. Very proud of that. So now as Dr. Hill works tirelessly across the world for the same goal, we will continue his mission here at home with passion and purpose. And on his behalf, I thank you all so much for this honor.
Our legal winner, Sarasota County Bar Association Diversity Committee. A decade ago, the SCBA Diversity Committee hasn't happy with the composition of local law firms, which they felt did not represent the diversity of the community at large. So they started a scholarship program to bring in Florida law students who would do paid internships here, and hopefully entice some of them to live and work here in these counties. Raising money and awareness for this was difficult, so they hit upon the idea of entertaining people. This year, they created and produced an inspiring show about the role of the legal system in establishing civil rights.
This show was a collaboration of the Sarasota County Bar Diversity Committee, West Coast Black Theater Troupe, and Booker High School. And it was such a hit, we asked them to do a couple of numbers from the show for you today. Here to accept the award are Charlie Ann Seipert and the Honorable Judge Charles Williams of the Sarasota Bar's Diversity Committee, Christine Jennings of West Coast Black Theater Troupe, and Rachel Shelley, Booker High School's principal.
One of the things, in addition to being a judge, I'm an amateur filmmaker, so this is as close to the Oscars as I'm going to get. So I'm gonna sort of pretend I'm at the Oscars and we're in Los Angeles. But seriously, I'd like to start off really by a quote. The writer and poet Maya Angelou wrote, "We should all know that diversity makes for a rich tapestry, and we must understand that all the threads of the tapestry are equal in value, no matter what their color." What we all try to do in We Are Sarasota is to educate and celebrate this area's diversity. We also discuss inclusion when we talk of diversity. For in order for Sarasota to be a truly great city, and I believe it's on the verge of being a truly great city, we must make sure all of its citizens, regardless of color, regardless of background, regardless of sexual orientation, are part of the fabric of this community, especially its youngest citizens. We shall continue to work on this goal because it's a never-ending goal. It's a continuous goal, and we can never slack in trying to reach this goal. And especially using the arts, because Sarasota prouds itself of being a city of the arts. We use the arts, and we use the arts here in We Are Sarasota as a teaching and motivational tool. And this is only the beginning of that effort. I would be remiss if I didn't share some of the credit, because this was truly a collaborative effort in every possible sense of the word. We had co-producers, and I use the term producer in terms of everything from the choreography to making sure everybody had a seat. Former Judge Durand Adams, Will Little of West Coast Black Theater Troupe, Charles Clapsaddle, who's filming this event, Nate Jacobs, and our musical director, Jay Dodge, all helped collaborate in this production. Charlie Ann Seipert, I need to give her a title, so I'm going to call her our publicist and our chief strategist. She is basically the person that I unleash when I decide that we're going to have these types of events, and she does an excellent job, and she'll speak to you in a moment after I'm done. Also, one of the proudest moments is really when we think about the educational component of We Are Sarasota. Prior to the actual event, lawyers and judges and citizens came out to schools to discuss what they were about to see. And in a nutshell, the story of We Are Sarasota is basically the story of integration in this country told through the law. I know that there are a few of those people here tonight. I know that there are many lawyers who participated that are here tonight, and I thank you. I know Dr. Ed James participated, and he gave a historical perspective of how Sarasota coped with the changing laws that related to diversity. I see Judge Curley, who was actually a part of the event, who actually took the stage. I also want to thank Chris Jennings, who made it possible for us to partner with West Coast Black Theater Troupe. I was never worried about the talent involved in this. I was only worried about the logistics and things of that nature, but I never doubted the talent because of all the talented people that are associated with West Coast Black Theater Troupe. I'd also like to thank Dr. Rachel Shelley and the staff and students of Booker High School, especially their VPA program. I know that Scott Keys is not here. I understand Melissa Lotte, who's here, she was the choreographer. And if you attended the event, really the highlight of the show were the students at Booker. I want to thank all of our sponsors and patrons and everyone who bought a ticket to this event. Perhaps the most personal gratification of the event was that I knew that there were several people when we went to the high schools and I told them that this event would be at the Sarasota Opera House who had never been to the Opera House. And so I could see their eyes light up as they walked into that magnificent facility. And I said, what a shame it is that every student in Sarasota has not had a chance to experience an event at the Sarasota Opera House. So again, if we're going to be a truly great city, truly a city that is about the arts, every student, everyone who has an education in Sarasota should not be denied an opportunity to experience the arts. So on behalf of all of the lawyers and all of the people who did everything from help us usher people into the theater, the paralegals, I know I'm leaving people out, and if I do, I apologize. Charlie Ann is going to make certain that I make up for anybody I left out. But again, I want to thank all of you, and Charlie Ann, if you'd say a few words, please.
This is when you're supposed to be moving the podium back. Yeah. We are going to, what Judge Williams mentioned, he does unleash me. What Judge Williams mentioned is that the Diversity Committee of the Sarasota County Bar Association is deeply committed to promoting inclusiveness in our justice system. After doing it for 10 years, we realize that the future of our justice system really rests in the hands of today's young students. We are proud of our partnership with Booker High School, and that partnership is going to continue. Just next week, Legal Aid of Manasota and the Diversity Committee are partnering to continue with the education. We are going to be bringing Booker students to see The Best of Enemies, which is the compelling story of a high-ranking Ku Klux Klan official and the relationship with a young African-American activist. Now here's the dilemma. I cannot say no to Rachel Shelley. I gave away more tickets to Booker kids than what we had paid for. So here's my pitch. At each seat, there's a form. I need to get those tickets paid for. They're only $45. If anyone can underwrite a single Booker High School student ticket, I would really appreciate it. And if you're free on the 29th, I invite you to join Judge Williams. He'll be leading a discussion following the play, and invite all of you to join Legal Aid and the Diversity Committee. And after the play, the Diversity Committee lawyers will again go to the school to carry on the education process. And this is the first of what we hope will be many educational experiences with Booker High School, and then we're going to take it on the road and hit all the schools in Sarasota County. So any support you can give us for this will be appreciated. Thank you, Susan Burns and Sarasota Magazine. They represent the finest in journalism, and they know what's important to our community, and they walk the talk. Thank you. Thank you.
This country is the greatest country in the world because of the people, because of you.
We want to thank all of you for coming today, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Gracias. Bye-bye.